still, I love how everyone at the end was just, they were cheering for the 100 because of how ridiculous that entire game was.
Fuck it, let's turn this lighting off.
Here we go, 2, baby, I need 2! Yeah!
Even he was kind of laughing at it.
After a certain point, you just kind of have to accept it.
Yeah.
Like, after a certain point, you just gotta go, well, fuck it. Let's see how stupid we can get.
This is my lot in life.
Alright.
Don't feel too bad for Doherty though. He's now amassed 4 PBA Tour titles, one of which is a major.
It's great that that's the infamous game, and then he goes on and wins.
Yep.
Probably not handily, but he goes on and wins some of them.
His win at the 2021 PBA World Championship was a rout, because he qualified #1 and fired off a 260 game to win.
That's good.
Ah.
Anyway, welcome back to the Phantoms Only podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Wiz.
I'm Sub.
And so
there's a vodka around here somewhere.
We've also lost people to the void again.
Yeah. At least one of them will be here soonish. Oh, right. We're starting the next arc.
Welcome back to the Phantoms Only podcast, the podcast that continually loses members of its own party to the Mementos, but luckily we can just fish them out later.
Yep.
Oops.
Oh, yeah. We stopped, like, right after the,
A festival attempt.
The
Everything went
attempt at
wrong.
a fireworks festival, yeah.
I did say there was an attempt.
I should have fucking done the intro where it was, welcome to the Phantoms Only podcast, the only podcast where 4 people can combine to throw a 100 game in bowling.
Well then.
Yeah, we were watching a bowling video just before we started.
Welcome back to the Phantoms Only podcast,
100.
the only podcast that distracts itself with sports ball for some reason before we talk about video games.
That's not sports ball.
It's a ball
Bowling
and you
is very
sport
much
it.
sports ball.
Bowling is
very
sport
much a
ball.
sport
There is
ball.
a ball and you sport
I
it.
dare you to throw a 15-pound ball
What?
at
Tell me.
like 17 miles an hour for like an hour and a half
Look,
and
it's not
not
sport.
get completely
It's
tired.
not sports ball. It's slide ball.
Slide ball.
No!
It's roll ball.
By that logic, hockey is slide puck, and that is not a term that I will ever use.
No, it's stick puck.
Yes, it is still a term I will never use. But yeah, since we were talking about sports ball, I got bad news. I have another sports ball story.
What do you mean
boy,
you have
no.
another sports ball story?
I mean, I have another sports ball story.
Do tell.
I can't wait.
Have you ever heard the infamous story of the greatest beating in sports history?
Yeah, I feel like there are many that could fall under that category. You're gonna have to be a little more
Oh,
specific.
you know nothing.
Are we talking
No,
college?
I don't.
Are we talking about the college football game where it was like?
Yes, don't fill in the blank. Don't fill in the blank on this one.
Okay,
Oh,
I
boy.
do know about this one. I don't know the whole story behind
No,
it.
I thought I was
heard
gonna
of
have
this
to
one.
apologize to Brazil for a moment.
No, the infamous 7-1 is a different kind of beating. That's an emotional beating. This one is an actual physical torturing.
Yeah, this one was,
So-
this was brutal. It's no.
This starts with a bit of background. We're not going to be starting with the actual sport that this was involved with. Instead, we're going to be starting with the ball and stick game, aka baseball. Background. This is early 1900s. The Presbyterian school, Cumberland College in Lebanon, Tennessee, has a bit of a match, you could say, with Georgia Tech for baseball. The match is one-sided. Like, Georgia Tech gets its ass beat. Baseball team utterly crushed, loses the set so badly that they're just basically taking pot shots on them for fun. The score ends 22-0.
Holy
If you don't know baseball, that's really fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Not as embarrassing as another thing I want to talk about later.
But yeah,
Right.
this was also amongst allegations that Cumberland may have used professionals as ringers, potentially, but there's no real proof of that. But, that was the bad thing. The Cumberland guys basically just trolled Georgia Tech, and that severely pissed off Georgia Tech, especially Georgia Tech's coach.
Busy. It's not like I can
His
focus
name
on studying.
was John
My
Heisman.
fault my scores suck, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, I know it's going.
I don't know who that is.
John Heisman, if you don't know that name, is one of the architects of American football.
And there's something more.
Oh,
important.
no.
Oh,
He's one of the men who
no.
You
invented
wanna
the
ask me something
game.
about the internet,
Oh.
right?
The
That's right,
concept of
okay.
throwing the ball back
I'm
to
gonna
the
be
quarterback,
straight with
he
you
thought of that. The concept of saying "hut" when you do it, that's also his idea. Amongst other things, he is one of the literal gods of the game and its origin.
Okay.
As a result,
I've heard the name
started
now.
out as hackers of justice.
As a result, he wanted a little
Now
bit of a
they
run
only look
back.
out for their own
And
self-interest.
wouldn't you
That's
know
all
it,
I know.
fate decided
They
to
were
be
the group I
kind
texted
to
him
Georgia
about
Tech
yesterday.
and said, "Hey,
I see.
you got a football match to do with Cumberland."
Nobody's sure who actually
Oh, no.
belongs to Medjet. Well, it looks
no.
like
This
things will
was
be exciting this summer.
1916.
It'll be the Phantom
Cumberland
Thieves
had
world
disbanded its
debut,
football
no?
program the previous year, but due to
Dude,
contractual obligations,
Don't
still had to play
worry,
against Georgia
I'll be
Tech.
rooting for the Phantom Thieves. I'll get the
As a
forum
result,
mobilized as well.
they realized,
Now,
oh
we're
shit,
done talking here.
realizing
I
something
really must
bad
be
might
going.
happen, and
I'll
said,
see you
"Hey,
guys
we
later."
don't need to play this game, right?" Heisman threatened to sue them.
So that was fruitless.
Threatened to sue them for about $3,000, which in 1916, that's a shit ton of money.
Yep.
Which is like $1 billion in today's money.
Basically.
Yes. So naturally, they had to absolutely scramble and said, "Fuck, we got to get some sort of team going." So they rallied together a team, just an absolute scrub team of people who had no experience, a bunch of frat brothers or law students who had never played football before, to just make some sort of ragtag team to go up against Heisman and his elite team. First quarter starts. First quarter ends 63 points to Georgia Tech. 0 to Cumberland.
Medjet, huh? It seems like we
You
won't
see
be
where
able
this
to
is
deal
going?
with them by ourselves.
Second quarter starts 63 points to Georgia Tech. 0 to Cumberland. I also forgot to
I know
mention, there
summer
were multiple
vacation
instances
is
where
due
the
to begin
quarterback
next week,
of Cumberland
But I
was
have
knocked
an
out with a concussion
unfortunate announcement.
repeatedly.
We'll be holding an emergency assembly.
Yikes.
There was also
on
apparently an
Monday
incident
the
where a
25th.
dog wandered onto the
Please
field and
come to
attacked the
school
players
that
of
day.
Cumberland.
I forgot.
Random dog.
This was before the days of a football
We've had
stadium, so
many
a dog
strange
literally could just
incidents.
run in and cause
The
problems.
psychotic breakdowns, students being dragged
Multiple
into
players wound up
rallies.
running and
Hence,
trying to
Principal
hide because they didn't want to
Kalaya
partake in getting their
has
asses
instructed
beat.
all teachers to caution the student
At one
Fair.
point,
Well,
Georgia
this
Tech
is
hands the football up to the
inconvenient
rookie
for
guy
us
who's
too,
never been
you
able to
know,
land a successful
having to
touchdown.
find things to
He
warn
stumbled
you
at the
about
1
so
yard line,
suddenly.
but they still managed to get the touchdown anyway. It gets to halftime. Cumberland says, "Please, God, we can just end the game now, right?" Georgia Tech says, "Hell no. I'm not done. What is wrong with you?"
Where do you think you're going?
Coming to the third quarter. Georgia Tech, 54 points. Cumberland, 0. Going to fourth quarter. 42 points. 0. Georgia Tech scored 32 touchdowns, and their left end, James Prius, kicked 18 extra points for them.
What was the final
Cumberland-
score?
We're not done yet.
Oh, no.
Cumberland's
Oh, boy.
only effective defense across the entire game was the climb the ladder play, an illegal play in today's standards where you make the human pyramid, someone jumps up to the top and attempts to block the field goal.
What?
This guy got, I believe, nailed square in the face with the football and got a gruesome facial injury for his troubles.
Checks out.
Oh, and did I forget to mention that Georgia Tech never actually completed or attempted a forward pass? They didn't throw the ball. All they did was charge head first at Cumberland, and they scored an agonizingly high amount of points. But wouldn't you know it,
Damn,
that
this
extra
stuff's
field
really
goal
not
that was
going so
blocked at the
good.
end by Cumberland in their only defensive play, also fun fact, Cumberland
Who's
didn't
on
get a
that
first
jet,
down
huh?
once over that entire game. Not a single
surprising.
first down. Cumberland got its ass so severely beat that the final score was, and you're not going to believe this number, 222-0.
Got styled on so hard they made 3 even numbers.
It is the most infamous beatdown in football history of any.
And if you
discipline.
look even closer, that was exactly 200 points more than the beating that the baseball team gave to Georgia Tech.
Oh,
Perfect revenge.
Jesus Christ.
Cumberland committed 15 turnovers,
Yes.
9 fumbles, and 6 interceptions during that game.
We're talking about sports ball.
It got so bad that they just absolutely got trashed. The football team was retired, and Cumberland never played sports seriously again, and they never met against Georgia Tech. Never, not once.
Actually,
Yeah, we're talking about a team that got beat 222-0.
Oh, and fun fact, Heisman was so upset that the game was uninteresting that he forced his team to play a scrimmage game immediately afterwards. That game doesn't count as far as he was concerned. He basically just dabbed on Cumberland and said, "Get fucked. We're gonna go play another game because we actually know how to play this fucking game. Get off my field."
Jesus.
Shall we go?
The moral of the story is: do not piss off John Heisman.
Apparently.
I
Yeah,
think this sports ball talk only started because I showed the lowest game in professional bowling history.
Yep. Yeah, like as soon as you brought up football, the name Heisman finally clicked because like I've heard that name associated with like a trophy.
You've probably heard of the Heisman Trophy. Yeah.
So the funny thing is, you mentioned that the beginning of that was a 22-0 in
22-0 baseball game between the same two states.
You know what's more embarrassing than that? This
What?
happened in a real Major League Baseball game. A team went up 10 points in the first quarter or the first inning,
Oh no.
and then went on to blow their entire lead and lose.
Yeah, that sounds like something that's happened.
Well,
It would end up, I think it was, the end score was 15-17. High scoring game. And there was many things about that I wish I could go into better detail. But one of the players that ended up getting the best, changed the whole thing, was a player by the name of Steve Jelk.
I seriously thought you were going to say Steve Jobs.
Yeah, we forgot to tell you, Steve Jobs used to style on people in sports ball.
I think it was
yes.
Steve Jelk. I think that's the name
Steve
of it.
Jobs, notorious
He had-
football player.
He was a position shortstop. You know, the type of thing that doesn't exist anymore in the Major League.
Yep.
He basically went I think it was 400, 500 at bats without a single a single home run, and maybe one halfway through that. But he was on the longest drought of any player in the league, and then he got 2 in the same game, and that kind of flipped the whole game on its head. The best thing about this whole thing is at the beginning of the game, at the end of the first inning, one of the commentators, because it was I think it was Philly versus Pittsburgh, one of the commentators said that if they lose the game, that he was walking back to Philly.
Ouch.
He made a bet, and they made him do it.
That'll walk all the way home.
They made him do it later in the season, for a charity event.
I mean,
And-
that's fair.
I only know about this because of a random video I found online. But the guy described the bet as, you've made a bad bet when you've walk of distance so far you can see the circumference of the Earth. Curvature of the Earth. is what
Talking
it
sport
was.
ball
Yay, sport ball.
for some reason.
I don't know how we got on this topic. Oh, that's right, the
We just
bowling.
We know exactly how we got here. We got to bowling. That's
Because
how
we
we
watched
started.
Tom Doherty throw a 100.
The sad part is
you
I
or
have
I
another
could throw.
sports ball story for later.
Yeah, and wasn't that because I also made a comment about me only throwing a 23?
Yes,
Something like
Good
that.
job. Good job.
because we discovered that, damn, you suck at bowling, and you agree.
And then I was like, you know what, Celtis? You may have had a bad day there, but at least your bad day wasn't worth a chance at winning $250,000.
Look, I'm the guy who goes to play bowling and I throw the ball and somehow it ends up behind me and everyone's jumping like they're a me character.
Yeah, it's we
It's
sports.
just a wee, yeah.
Just like Wii Sports, you're right.
Except for I'm not doing it on purpose.
Not too.
I had a fun time shooting ducks in the face earlier.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
duck game
had
was
duck
the thing.
game go. Who won?
Duck.
Nobody cares who won. It was
Fair enough.
hilarious.
I'm really sad that I missed it.
There can be a round 2.
E
No one ever said there couldn't.
E.
In fact,
Yeah, I don't know why this is just the sports ball episode of the Phantoms Only podcast, but I do have another sports ball related story
Oh
actually.
God.
why do you have
No.
more sports ball related shit?
Because sports ball is brought hand in hand with fighting game analogies of all things.
Oh
Thanks,
boy.
Foray Gaming.
I'm not
So,
surprised, but still.
this is a different sports ball. It's time for hand egg. Just kidding.
Hand.
They were actually going to talk about basketballs.
Did you say hand egg?
Yes,
Did
but no.
say hand
It's
egg.
time for
Hey,
basketball.
that is what
actually.
American football is. It's hand egg.
Honestly, I think we need to change the name of American football to what it is outside of the U.S. Gridiron, which sounds way cooler.
That does sound cooler.
Gridiron?
Because it's association football and it's gridiron football for soccer and football. Gridiron is a cooler name.
It is, honestly.
But anyway, this is not about football. This is about basketball. Have you ever heard the story of the lowest performing, as in lowest scoring, game of basketball ever?
No.
No, but I'm about to.
Yeah,
So,
we're about to.
Important question. What do you think the average points are in a game of basketball?
Based on what I've personally seen, somewhere in the hundreds or so.
Yeah, they can get into the hundreds pretty easily because you're always taking shots. You got to take shots whenever you can because of the shot clock and all that jazz. That didn't exist in the early days of professional basketball. There was no
So-
shot clock.
Probably a lot lower than like maybe 50s or so.
Shall we go?
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh God. What
I'm
is it?
going
Single
to say
digits?
in the early days, the average would be like teens or 20s.
No, the average was still pretty high
Alright then.
because there was no penalties for certain things, but at the same time, there was a lot of ways to score. But infamously, there was also a man who basically dominated the world of basketball for a very long time, and his name was George Mikan. Mikan was 6'10",
All that.
which might not seem all that tall compared to how many giants we have in current day basketball.
Taller
What's
than
for
me.
his
Average
time?
in today's basketball.
But for his time, he was the dominant force of basketball because you don't want to know what he did? He stood underneath the basket, and he blocked every shot that came.
Which I
There
believe
was
is
no
illegal.
rule on goaltending. There was no rule in place about goaltending at the time. So this was perfectly legal, perfectly valid.
I feel like the reason why there is a rule is because of him.
Yes.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yup.
Sometimes
There was
rules
a
are made
lot
for
of
a
things
reason.
that happened, but ultimately, he was for the Lakers. The Lakers were one of the most uncontested teams because of him. Like, they had just come off their second consecutive championship and had won 29 games in a row at that point on home turf. So, what happens when Fort Wayne Pistons come up against them and say, well, shit, we need to think of a new plan? Because any normal plan against this guy isn't going to work. They decided there's only one way to beat someone that goddamn tall. Don't let him play the game.
Fair enough.
They played a rousing game of keep away. Because once again, shot clock didn't exist. You didn't have to take a shot in a certain amount of time. So they didn't. They just got a point lead early, ran, and just stayed as far away as they could from Mikan as long as possible.
What people will sometimes do in Smash.
Yes.
Sheesh.
They essentially zoned out George Mikan. And this was
Hell of a play.
actually the thing that led to them beating the Lakers in a giant upset in the lowest scoring game in basketball's history, 19-18.
Whoa. That's a pretty close game
Less than
still.
40 points total.
That's absurd.
Oh, and fun
That
fact,
is
this was also before the
insane.
days of a three-point line existing.
So it was all 2-pointers. For,
Yes.
Well, no,
One-
it couldn't
one or
have been,
twos.
because
no. Yeah, there would have to be an
there
odd
was an
point.
odd number.
This was the 50s when this game was played. There was no shot clock, there was no goaltending, there was no three-point line, which George Mikan himself said we should have that. It wouldn't benefit someone like him, but it would give shorter players a chance to actually participate and lead to hype moments.
Fair enough.
What I'm saying is thanks, Corey Gaming, for bringing up this bullshit-ass basketball story. Because sometimes you do win by losing, because the zoning thing led to rule changes.
Have I brought up how
Well,
I...
that was a fucking thing.
That was a fucking thing. Did I bring up how I kind of injured myself today?
What?
Ow.
Like nothing.
So we still don't
Nothing
have
serious.
any tangible
I
clues.
kind of.
No, but what'd you do?
All right, so I was was a warmer day than usual, so I was riding my bike to work and back today. And as I was pulling up to the house,